we gotta eat too.
Then Angie stops by, and then Craig stops by. It was like, oh my gosh, and Barb's calling, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah, overload.
what's going on? No,
Don't feel alone.
I know.
I can relate to that. No, you're not.
that's funny.
I can relate to it.
And a big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, RIM Country. It's Monday.
Good morning.
Monday.
Monday.
And it was feeling like a Monday there for a little bit. But you know what? Now it's time to have fun. It's time to have fun because in the studio I have Trish Claver and Hannah Lusk, both with the Time Out Shelter. And it is great to see both of you ladies this
Great to
morning.
see you.
Thanks
So-
for having us.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Yes, I know. I know, just talking a few things going on. There's always stuff going on in the fog.
It's
The fog
been
was
thick.
crazy.
Yeah, crazy
Last night I
fog.
drove in it.
Yeah.
You've been here a long time,
Yeah.
Hannah, in Payson. Can you remember fog staying for this long?
Not this long.
Not this long,
Uh-uh.
right?
Not this long, but it's thick. All
Yeah.
over Star Valley. I stayed in Star Valley last night. It was thick, and I looked out the window and you can't see nothing.
No. And and it's just staying around. That's the weird thing because it's been foggy here before. Not that often. Not like the coast or
Right.
where you get fog or the haze, but yeah, just staying for like what? It was foggy right after the electric light parade
Yep.
Saturday, and then yesterday, and then this morning.
This
It's like,
morning was
It
super
was
thick.
socked in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All our plants are loving it, and the moisture, man, we'll
That's
take
true.
it.
Yeah, trees are loving it, vegetation, all of it. So, and a nice change. So I'm not complaining. It's just, haven't seen it.
I
I
think
unusual.
last night I went out to go get wood, and it was warm outside, so
Mhm.
it's keeping the
heat
heat
in. Yeah,
it's
that
kinda
is so
nice.
true.
Yeah.
I know, and a little bit cooler temperatures are coming though, and it seems like midweek and later in the week we're down in the 20s at night. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
definitely.
would
Go up.
get chilly. I
Yeah.
hope that the humidity's not around so it freezes. So.
and it wreaks havoc on my hair.
I know, right? It just messes with us.
No, so talking, Time Out Shelter, and last time both of you were on, it was before the second annual Lanterns on the Lake event. So we can talk a little bit about that, and that, that was a great event, great turnout. For
It was
that
a
event.
great turnout. We were
Mhm.
really happy to see the community turn out for that event. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really happy with the event. A lot of families came out and kind of hung out for a while, decorated and launched the lanterns on the lake. We had KRIM there
Mhm.
and lots of good food
Mhm.
for everybody to snack on, have dinner.
Yeah, I believe Gila Hogs was out
Gila
there.
Hogs was
And Dan
serving.
Zeisen had some dessert. And,
Yeah.
We had Chapman Cares there also, and we had Dennis Duker with
Mhm.
Duker Ranch,
Mhm.
and we had Tiffany Armstrong also spoke, and a great presence from the community and community leaders also.
Mhm.
I noticed
Yes.
a lot more families, a lot more kids turned out. It was great.
There
Mhm.
were a lot of young families there, which was what we wanted to have, you know, to be inclusive with that, because we wanted to address not only domestic violence but bullying as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was just all different ages, which was great to see. And the decorating of the lanterns, and then when the lanterns were launched, I don't think it could have been planned any better or coordinated, because obviously they go where just the water
where the
takes
current
them, the
goes.
current takes them.
Go where they want to go.
But they, oh my goodness, went around the fountain and the lights, have the purple lights, the town put
Definitely.
changed those to purple, so for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the color. And it was something.
Yeah, it was. A big thank you to all of our volunteers. We had a huge turnout for the biggest turnout for our volunteers this year.
Mm-hmm.
We had the kids in art class actually did little signs around our walk, which was amazing. So they got to participate
really
also.
Beautiful signs, and a lot of volunteers from ERA Young Realty were there helping us. There was like 15 or 20 people that showed up to help us out from that organization. So we had some great sponsorships, ERA Young and Chapman Automotive, and appreciated our food vendors that showed up.
Yeah, and
And
for those
radio
that didn't
station.
make it, oh yeah, I'm happy to be out there supporting Time Out and the event. But for those that aren't aware of what the event was or what it comprised of, people came out and lanterns. You could decorate a lantern or get a lantern and put someone's name on it or in memory of someone. And then they were launched out on the lake. And then prior to that, we did a walk. There was a walk around the lake as well. And all the signs that were decorated by students that were around the lake. It just was a great event with the community coming together, and where community members could come together just to raise awareness of domestic violence, but also enjoy each other, support each other, and be there for each other, and have it be more of a uplifting event, an encouraging event, rather than just very, very somber.
Yep.
Right.
We're all here for each other.
Just a solemn event. We wanted to include more families and just make it a family-friendly event and make it more fun and uplifting, but still with a serious message. Because we were leading into Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is October. So we had this event right at the end of September just to lead into that full awareness month.
No, it is a great event, and I think that is one that definitely will continue.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to kick off Domestic Violence
And
Awareness
hopefully
Month.
it'll grow. Hopefully we'll get more community members to come out, and you don't necessarily need to volunteer, but if you want to show up and have a good time, we'll be there.
There we go. And then just this last Friday night,
Yes.
I saw you at an event, Trish,
Yes.
here in town. And how about you tell us a little about
The
that?
Hometown Heroes event that was held at the United Methodist Church from 3 to 5 p.m. And that was put on by, sponsored by Pace and Roundup, and then the chairperson was Rick Hinkie. Yes, so he did a really great job bringing all the nonprofits and volunteer-oriented organizations together. So we were there with a lot of different organizations. We got to network, got to meet and talk to people from the community. And it was just a really great event.
It was. And his goal is to recognize all of the volunteers that are a big part, a major part of all of the nonprofits in town, Time Out and other nonprofits, and it was really good.
It was really good because we depend a lot on volunteers to help run, especially our thrift store. The Time Out Thrift store is located in the Bashes Shopping Center, and that store helps us to generate a good part of our revenue to help us keep running. And so we depend greatly on volunteers to help run that thrift store.
And so, speaking of volunteers and relying on volunteers, are you always looking for volunteers?
We are always looking for volunteers. Definitely. And we have a volunteer coordinator, and we've had a volunteer coordinator named Patty Ippolito for many, many years, and she's looking to retire this month, December 22nd.
And I don't think she's just looking. She is. She's
going to retire. I think she's pretty certain. But we have a new volunteer coordinator who's training with Patty to take over that spot, Carol Warren. And she was in attendance with me that night at the Methodist Church for the Hometown Heroes.
Great.
And so she would be the one to contact regarding any volunteer opportunities that anyone would be interested in. And to get a hold of her, you can call the shelter.
Okay.
Which is area code 928, of course, 472-8007, and ask to speak to Carol regarding volunteer opportunities. Or you can just stop into the thrift store, which is in, like I said, 244 East Highway 260, between Pizza Factory and the Copper State Credit Union. You'll find us there, and you can drop in a thrift store and inquire about volunteering as well.
There you go. So a great way to be involved with the Time Out Shelter organization, to help out.
Yes.
And so donations, you're always taking donations at the thrift store.
Mhm.
And donations, the drop-offs are right around the back,
Drop-offs are
right?
right around the back.
Mm-hmm.
So you go between the Copper State building and the Goodwill building.
Mhm.
There's a little drive-through area.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue around, turn to your left, and the timeout donation drop-off area is there in the back of the store.
Mm-hmm.
So we would appreciate donations of your household items, clothing, furniture. And we are able to pick up larger pieces of furniture now because we recently were donated a box truck.
Nice,
Yeah.
very nice.
Which was a very generous donation from Rim Country Arizonans for Children.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they passed that vehicle on to Time Out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to facilitate bigger pickups. It has a lift on the back, so
Oh,
it's
nice.
really a nice truck. And
Yeah.
we really are more than grateful for that.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can't make it in to donate the items yourself, just give us a call and we'll arrange a pickup.
Yeah,
Mhm.
call the thrift
Great.
store. And the thrift store phone number is 928-474-3989. The
Mhm.
manager's name is Deb, and you can speak with Deb, and she can help to arrange pickups,
Mm-hmm.
of your household items and furniture.
That is great. Now, another way that you can contribute to the Time Out Shelter, and it's coming up, it's that time of year, is with a charitable tax credit,
Yeah.
Arizona
Mhm.
charitable tax credit. And can you explain how that works?
Sure. So Time Out is a designated 501c3 corporation,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also a qualifying charitable organization, a QCO, within the state of Arizona. So you are able to make your Arizona charitable tax credit donation to Time Out in the amount of, you can do $800 per couple or $400 per individual. And that's a dollar for dollar type donation, so it comes off that, say if you owed taxes to the state
Mm-hmm.
after you file, you can write those dollars directly off of the amount of your liability.
Mm-hmm.
Our QCO number is 20372. You can just go to our website,
Mhm.
timeoutshelter.org, and use the donate button there, use the pull down menu, and you'll see 2022 charitable tax credit, and you can make your donation online. Or you can mail in your check to P.O. Box 306 here in Payson, 85547.
Mm-hmm.
And always call the shelter for more information. I'll be glad to provide that.
Okay. And something that is great about this program, you don't have to be a Payson resident or in the Rim Country or Gila County. If you're in Arizona and there's a connection to Payson, or you just want to contribute to Time Out because you are very passionate about the work that Time Out is doing with domestic violence, that can be done. And do you find that you get some contributions
From around the state?
Yes.
Yes, we do, absolutely.
Wow.
We do.
Yeah.
We do see different areas of the state, all the way down to the valley, the other side, Peoria,
Mhm.
that area. And it's just because they have a connection to the cause
Mm-hmm.
that we address. Time Out's provided a safe sanctuary from abuse and domestic violence for close to 30 years right here in Payson now. So a lot of people have received those services over the 30 years, generations past,
Wow. Yeah.
So they know, they're
true.
familiar with that, or they've received services
Wow.
from Time Out.
Yeah, that is true.
Mhm.
Again, if you're just tuning in, talking with Time Out Shelter CEO Trish Claver and board president Hannah Lusk. And, I think it is important, or it is a case where people might be listening for the first time, they're new to the area, they just, they maybe have heard about Time Out
Mhm.
Shelter, but they don't necessarily know what services you provide.
What services we provide,
Yeah, so
sure.
could you
That makes
just
sense.
go over that just a little bit?
Sure. A Time Out, we operate a shelter and a
Mhm.
thrift store here in town. So our shelter is a 28-bed facility where we welcome all individuals and their children who are fleeing abuse and domestic violence and are seeking a safe place to go. We not only provide just shelter, but we have many well-trained advocates who provide direct service and case management. We have lay legal advocates who will help you obtain any documentation that you might have had to leave behind, like birth certificates and important papers that you just couldn't take with you when you fled. And also help you to file orders of protection, dissolution of marriage, that type of thing. They cannot offer legal advice, but they can help you to, facilitate those forms. We have educational coordinator, comfort care programs, which teaches interested individuals crafting skills, many skills that they can take with them, to gain some independence as they proceed with their life. We offer transitional housing assistance. When people are ready to transition out of the shelter and go out into their own independent living, we can sometimes assist them with deposits and getting into a place.
Yeah, there's so many aspects and programs.
I know I'm leaving some out because there are so many things that we do. It's not just a place to sleep.
And it's wonderful that that is provided. I mean, I think that's the first part, is providing a safe haven, a place where people that have suffered domestic violence can feel safe, can escape that. But then all of the programs that have been built over the years to empower and to provide that experienced
a path
knowledge,
to independence, and they're living a life free of abuse, and learning their own value, and kind of contributing back to a community or society at large. But the first order of business is correct, is to provide that safe place and to give them the sense of safety. When they first arrive.
So they could even focus. I mean, you have to
regroup.
in a place where you're just thinking about survival, surviving, and if you have children, especially keeping them safe, and so just in protective mode.
Sure, and you are not required to participate in any of the extra programs. If you don't want to, it's all voluntary.
It's great. Again, Time Out Shelter. And again, they're celebrating 30 years, or right at 30 years.
A lot of lives.
A lot of lives impacted. Thousands of people have come
Thousands.
through there over the years.
And so another way you can find out more information or donate is through the website, and that's timeoutshelter.org. And if you wanted to write a check, somebody could send you a check as well?
You can definitely send a check to P.O. Box 306 in Payson, 85547. And you can actually drop it off at the thrift store as well if you happen to be going by there. You can drop off a check at the thrift store and just tell them that it's a direct donation for the shelter. And they'll get that to us.
And also, I guess it would be good to mention the crisis line as well, and to give that number.
Yes, we have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week crisis line that is operated by our advocates, and that number is 928-472-8007. We also have an alternate mobile and text line, so if you don't want to call and speak, you can actually text in for information or for help. And that phone number is 928-978-4081.
Okay.
And you can find that on our website as well.
Okay.
So you don't have to, write it down right now. So if you want to refer back, just go to the website, and we have all of that contact information available there.
And now donations, because you have a very big project that you've been working on for a little while now, and that is for a new facility, a new building, a new shelter. If people want to make donations, just towards that, would they just
They
put that
can
on?
designate it
Designate
as
it, okay.
such, so that becomes a restricted donation. So we
Okay.
cannot use those donations for any other purpose except for the building,
Mhm.
if you designate it as such.
Okay.
I have to book it that way, I cannot touch that for operating, etc. So that
Okay.
is in a, separate accounting system,
Mhm.
just for the new build.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if someone made a donation and you don't put anything on the check, or it isn't designated in any way, then it'll go to the
General
operational
funds.
cost, general
Mhm.
fund.
Mhm.
But if you want to designate, if you want to make a couple donations and designate one of them towards the building fund,
Mhm.
then you can do that. So where are you, how close?
We're in the beginning stages of architecture for the
Nice.
new build. So
Very nice.
we are mapping out the rooms and what it's going to look like, how the feel is, and we
Mhm.
want to create something that is a safe place for
Mhm.
when they come into the building and they feel safe automatically. So we're in the beginning stages of that. We have an architect and we're just starting, so it's really exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, though, even though you are starting that in the beginning phase and
Mhm.
working with an architect, money is still needed for that project,
Yeah.
correct? To complete
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Always.
Unfortunately, it's not cheap.
It is not a cheap thing to do, and over the last
No.
4 to 5 years, I would say, the costs have gone up so
Yeah.
much, so we're
Yeah.
just chasing that value. The value of money isn't the same as it was 3 years
Yeah.
ago,
Yes. Oh,
So what
no.
you had in your building fund won't do as much as it would have.
Yes,
you know.
won't buy you as much, won't take you as far
I know.
as it did, a
Just
few years.
about 3 years ago. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we are always looking for help with the building fund.
Mhm.
We'd like to bolster that up to where we can get to an amount where we can break ground and start construction.
Mhm.
But I am always looking for operating funds as well,
Yeah.
because, it's kind of simultaneously, you want to build a new building, but you got to keep operating. You got
Yes.
to keep moving, you know.
Mhm.
And like I said, with accounting wise, the funds for the building become restricted, so I can't touch them
Can't
for
touch those.
operating. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
totally separate things,
Mhm.
so.
Mm.
Yeah.
So again, if you would like to donate to the Timeout Shelter, visit the website timeoutshelter.org,
Mhm.
and there's information on how you can do that, or you can stop by the Timeout Thrift Store,
Mhm.
or you can give Trish a call.
You
And-
can call me, just call the shelter,
Uh-huh.
and that's the 472-8007, and they will transfer you over to me,
Mhm.
Trish Claver, and we'll try to provide more information.
There we go. And now, don't believe any more events this year. Don't have anything planned. The year, my gosh, we only have how many days?
Just a
I
few
know.
days left in the
Yeah.
calendar
I
year
can't believe
anyway.
it.
26?
No, just, yeah, just
Wow.
things like get-togethers. We're going to have a little staff party and,
Nice.
just things
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
End of the
more
year stuff.
internal.
We do have in plans to do some new events here, but we're not ready to release those yet. So,
Gotcha.
but some fun stuff, some fun ideas we have for
Stay
some new
tuned.
events.
Stay tuned for
Stay
next
tuned.
year.
Yeah, for next year. Well, that's
Lots of
exciting.
events
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that is very exciting.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, for coming on this morning.
You're welcome, and
Thank you for having
thank
us.
you as always for
And
having
all of your
us.
support.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you are so welcome.
Yeah.
And again, if you want any more information, also on the this year's Arizona Charitable Tax Credit for the Timeout Shelter, visit the website timeoutshelter.org, or give Trish a call at 928-472-8007.
Yes.
Or look for us on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
We have a
On Facebook.
Facebook page. They
There we
can
go.
search us there too.
All right. Well, thank you again. And
Thank
thank you everyone for listening and watching this morning. Hope you have
Thank
a
you.
great Monday morning and a wonderful week. Well, it's time to get back to the music now with some Stevie Ray Vaughan, Journey, The Doors, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
As for Payson and surrounding areas, I'm now Kath Peter of the
There we
News.
go.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
So hopefully that came off okay. I was like,
Yes.
at halfway asleep.
I know it's the
Sleepy.
fog and Monday. I'm kind of like.
I'm right there. I know.
And I have to run do a photo.
Oh, yes,
video,
he
record a
has
video,
somewhere to go right
and then
right away.
looking at a photo, trying to get a nice photo of the wall that heals.
Oh.
Yeah, for all right, guys.